How we doing, traders? Let's go ahead and check out the top 10 headlines that moved the stock market this week. Let's go ahead and take a look here. First up, the Fed leave the rate unchanged in their first decision of 2022. The policymaking of the Federal Open Market Committee wrapped up its two-day meeting this afternoon by announcing it decided to keep the target range for the federal fund rate at 0 to 0.25. The decision was made on a unanimous vote. Yet the FOMC added that with inflation well above the 2%, a strong labor market, and the committee expects it will be soon to be appropriate to raise the target range for the federal fund rate. Also, the FOMC stated that it would continue to reduce the monthly pace of its net asset purchase, bringing them to a near end in early March. Beginning in February, the committee would increase the holdings of its treasury securities by $20 billion per month of the agency mortgage-backed security and at least $10 billion per month. The last time the Fed Reserve raised rates was in December of 2018. Let's take a look here. Number 9, Tesla coming in here with their earnings report. Electric vehicle giant Tesla reported fourth quarter earnings and the full year financial results here after market close Wednesday. Here are the highlights. Tesla reported fourth quarter revenues of $17.7 billion, up to 65% year over year. The total beat of a consensus estimate of $16.4 billion, according to Benzinga Pro. The automotive revenue made up $16 billion of the total and was 71% year over year. Tesla recorded fourth quarter earnings per share of $2.54, beating the estimates of $2.26. Moving on here towards Microsoft earnings. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look here. Microsoft earnings here coming in here, the second quarter financial results after the market. The key details here, what happened. Second quarter revenue came in at $51.7 billion, up 20% over year. The total came ahead of $50.9 billion estimate, and according to Benzinga Pro, the company reported earnings per share of $2.48 of the consensus estimate of $2.31. The revenue for the productivity business precedes the segment of $15.9 billion, while the LinkedIn revenue was up 37% year over year. The intelligent cloud segment, which really made the market move, hit at $18.3 billion in the quarter, up 26% year over year. More personal computing segment was at $17.5 billion, and we'll continue to see how Microsoft performs here. Moving into, of course, Cathie Wood. Cathie Wood here announcing Cathie Wood's ARK Invest says that the price of single Bitcoin could rise to 1 million by 2030. Analyst Yasmin wrote in the company's annual research report, Big Ideas in 2022, that Bitcoin's market capitalization still represents a fraction of the global assets at scale to nation states adopt as legal tender. We'll go ahead and see if it can get on up there towards that. They said that Bitcoin could scale fold all the way up to 25 times the price in the next decade to 28.5 trillion. We'll go ahead and see what happens. Then we have Hood coming in here. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the Hood earnings here. Hood got hit hard on their earnings. Let's go ahead and see how they did here. Financial services, Hood came in here. Robinhood markets, here are the highlights. Robinhood's fourth quarter revenues, $363 million, up 14% year over year. The total came in ahead of the street's consensus of $362.1 million. Full year revenue of the company was up 89% year over year, $1.8 billion. Robinhood reported also a $264 million in the fourth quarter, up 12% year over year. Now, where they went definitely wrong was in the users. They lost users, and that's what hit them hard. Let's go ahead. Let's get into Apple here. So we're going to go ahead and take a look. Apple had strong earnings here. So let's go ahead. Let's get into Apple here. Apple reported strong holiday quarter here with record operating metrics that came in ahead of the most optimistic forecast despite supply chain disruption. iPhone revenue rose to a record thanks to a strong performance in China. The company also said that its installed base of its active devices was at a record. Apple key quarter 4 report here, earnings of $2.10 per share, exceeding the estimate of $1.89 per share. The bottom line result was better than a year ago at $1.68, beating the estimate at $1.24. We'll definitely continue to watch Apple as, of course, the supply chains, we'll see if that can kind of catch on up here. All right, moving into here, now we're going to go ahead and talk about the volatility. A number of companies have beat earnings and estimate, but have missed on revenues. Johnson & Johnson, Next Era, Raytheon, General Electric. The massive sell-off and recovery could be signs of capitulation that investors have been hoping for. We finally backed into a corner and appear to have that real panic selling. Bargain hunters seem to have started to step in. It could be a good sign that the investors have started to come and step into the market. We'll see how these valuations perform as we've seen good earnings and stocks still get hit. The problem comes with rising rates. Will investors find valuations that make sense? All right, then we get into Russia's President Vladimir Putin has given crypto enthusiasts a glitter of hope in the future of digital assets of the country, which have been under a threat from recent push to ban cryptocurrency and mining. The central bank last week said that Bitcoin mining should be banned, but President Putin seems to think that Russia could do well in the mining of cryptocurrency. His comments came one day after the government's finance ministry said it would be necessary to allow these technologies to develop and that the cryptocurrency ban was not necessary. According to analysts, in spring 2021, the price of electricity in Russia was at 0.6 per kilowatt and 8 cents per kilowatt for businesses. France compared is 1 kilowatt for 20 cents and 14 for business. So far more expensive, about 4 times the expense. Spotify coming in here to remove Neil Young's music after its platform feud with Joe Rogan. Spotify stepping in here and removing Neil Young following the feud with the podcaster Joe Rogan. Wall Street Journal's report. We'll see what happened. What happened here was Spotify removed it, saying that it did not want to share in a platform with Rogan, whom he accused sharing COVID-19 misinformation on the podcast. Spotify is the exclusive home of the Rogan podcast. A Spotify spokesman said that the company regretted Young's decision, but hoped to welcome him back soon, as per the Wall Street Journal. We'll see if they get Neil Young back into Spotify. All right, and that leaves us off here. That was the top 10 events here for this week that moved the stock market. Like always, guys, stay with Benzinga Pro. You can always check it out. Free 2-week trial. You don't even need a credit card. And like always, stay right here on Benzinga's YouTube to catch it all during the week. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe, and we'll see you next time right here on Benzinga.